Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to our channel again. It's a pleasure seeing you today, and we have a new guest with us, a person of Blessing Oni, and I will leave it to her to do justice to the introduction of herself because I don't want to miss some introduction. I don't want to miss something hard from the introduction. So I will leave it to her to do the brief introduction about herself.
Okay. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Blessing Oni. I'm a Nigerian. I'm from Southwest Nigeria, Oyo State to be specific. And I'm a Yoruba girl, if anybody cares about that. And I had my first degree in Nigeria, University of Ibadan, so Department of Mathematics. And I proceeded to AIMS in Ghana for my master's degree, and then I came to ICTP for a postgraduate diploma, and then now I'm having my PhD at SISSA here in Italy. So in mathematics, yeah, it's been math all the way.
All the way.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me here today.
Thank you for the brief introduction. So the main purpose why we are having this interview is to educate and to enlighten people about opportunities that are out there and how they can go about getting these opportunities, because a lot of people have given up and like, okay, there's nothing we can do to get those opportunities. So they became complacent about the little option that they have in our local vicinity and not looking out anymore. So I want you to help us elaborate. And now, being a lady, because we've been bringing guys and men to our channel. So being a lady, I want you to just enlighten us like, okay, you're in math now. That's like STEM. So tell us about how you go about this admission processes of yours, how you were able to get to AIMS in Ghana, and from there to ICTP in Italy, and also to SISSA now. I know they are in close proximity to each other. So I want you to tell us more. And after that, give us, if you have a general overview of an idea, not relating to math alone, or some other program that could be beneficial to other students, also maybe to come to ICTP or to come to SISSA, and Italy in general.
Okay. All right. So yeah, let's start with AIMS Ghana. Deep down inside, I wanted to go to AIMS South Africa, because it's South Africa. But I was scared to apply there. I was like, okay, there'll be so much competition. And then so I just picked Ghana. But I'm happy I did. So I got to know about AIMS right from campus, from some of our lecturers who were there for some conference. And they encouraged us to actually apply there. So I applied to AIMS using some of my lecturers back in US reference, as referees. So they helped in that. And then I was able to get into AIMS. And because one thing else that I noticed that AIMS encourage ladies, especially to apply. And I can say that we have much more representation of women at AIMS. I would say that compared to other places that I've been to. For instance, in SISSA, I don't know if it's a function of the number of people that applied or maybe the system of selection. Like in SISSA, I'm the only lady in my class, like in my class of PhD. And sometimes that can be intimidating. Sometimes like, okay, in the midst of 9 guys, look, 8 guys, I'm just the only lady. But AIMS, something is different. So I always encourage people, if you want to step out of Africa, if you are too afraid to step into bigger spaces or bigger universities, you can start from AIMS. I think that was what I did. So I started from AIMS. So AIMS was more or less for me like a one of the rung on the ladder for me, because it's like a step onto the bigger world. And that is what AIMS provided. It's like a window opportunity because so many top professors come in to take classes for 3 weeks, and then you interact with them, you build connections with them. So I would say I was able to get ICTP from AIMS from one of the professors. that I'm even working with now, who is now my supervisor for my PhD. So I just spoke with him. He asked me what was my plan. Like, am I interested in going further than this? And I was like, yeah, I think I like math. I want to lecture and stuff like that. And he was like, okay, that's very nice. And then I mentioned ICTP to him, and he was like, oh, that's true. I usually write references for people. And then that was just, but the time he came then, it was past the normal time it usually comes, because we put in application for ICTP around December until February. So he came later than that. So we're like, okay, he can't do anything. But he did. He wrote he wrote an email like to the coordinator here. And then I think that was one of the major things, yeah, that made them to consider my application. Because I tell you, so many other people were already interviewed before I was called for interview. Like, I was like the second to the last person that was interviewed, and I was the one that was selected together with the other guy that was the last person that was interviewed. So I would say building connection is very important. That is something that I've enjoyed. So connection. So this professor put in good word for me, and that is one thing I also noticed about people who give scholarships and everything. They want to hear from someone they trust about you, because they know that this person that they trust is not going to present someone that is not going to work hard, or what's it called, put to use this opportunity. So it's always good if you're in contact with someone that knows someone. So stuff like that. So that was how. So Ames was fine. It's like as I said, a step on the ladder for me. And then I got ICTP from Ames, and yeah, in ICTP we're just two ladies too in the class of 10. In the
And
class
and
of
and they
10.
want more ladies to apply for
And
this.
they do want more ladies to apply. Yes, yes. And one thing I have noticed that's also one of the postdoc here pointed out is that so many ladies, they give up after the first degree. Like, they sort of like, oh, they don't want to go on, like to pursue, or what's it called, higher degrees in, especially in STEM courses, especially in mathematics. But in physics, I think it is different. Like in physics, I see more ladies in physics. They are well represented and compared to math. And I would like to encourage more women. If you know you like math, yeah, it can be scary sometimes. I agree. And so frustrating something. But if you really love it and you enjoy doing it, and as my sponsor usually say, you get paid for what you like to do. So if you really like math and you want to get paid for it, don't give up. Just keep trying, keep doing it, keep going to conferences and seminars, and even if it is online, because through them you build connections, and then you don't know who might know who, or somebody that can put in a good word for you. So yes, so I came to ICTP for postgraduate diploma. So it's not a master's degree. So it's because it's just like a 1 year what will I say, shaking up program. Like, they just want to shake you up and then
A
through
master's
some. You
program.
said?
It's not a master's program.
Yeah,
It's not a PhD program.
it is not a PhD program. It's a 1 year, just 12 months.
So it's
So with
an
3 semesters.
like a match between a master program and a PhD program.
I would even, it is not even equivalent to a master's. Some people after finishing this diploma still go ahead for a master's
Master's. Wow.
degree. Yeah, yeah. But for me, I would say people coming from Africa, if it is possible, if you had a master's degree, because it's like a stepping stone for most people. Like, they come to ICTP and then, you get to meet just top people, because most schools knows ICTP. Like, they have collaboration with many other schools. And then from there, you can get into your target schools and stuff like that. So some people came here without master's degree, and then from here, they got a PhD. Like, I had a friend that we came together. Now he's in what is this school now in Florida, in Atlanta? That's not Florida. That is Georgia. Georgia.
Okay.
Yeah. So he is there. I forgot the name of this
So
school.
you moved from Italy to the US.
Yeah.
Okay.
Without a master's degree before. He came from UIBSc physics in Earth system physics. I
Okay.
think specifically atmospheric physics to ICTP, and then to the US.
Wow.
So there are some people that went from here, they went to the UK. I stayed back in Italy. Some people went to Germany. So it depends on what do you want after one. And that's to do with what do you feel you are ready for a PhD. Now, if you are going to the USA, maybe you don't need to have a master's, because I think it's sort of embedded in the PhD program. So it depends on what, but just put in everything in there. Like if you want to go for a master's, go for it, apply for whatever you want to. So back to my story now. So I got here, I did all I could just to do well. I forgot about passing so much. I just want to focus on understanding. But that was something that I learned, like, okay, you have to understand, not just I can define this thing, I can prove this theorem. You really have to understand, okay, why are we doing this? What do we need this for? So I learned that, and then I also applied. Yes, let me mention that I also applied to other places. Well, I didn't apply to the US because I didn't want to write the exams. So I I didn't want to write. I wanted to run away from the exams and everything. So my focus was just Europe and everything. So I applied to some, and then the UK too. I applied to Edinburgh. I applied to Zurich, ETH Zurich. I also applied for Schlumberger scholarship for Dresden, Germany. So, but I got the interview for Schlumberger. I was even happy. The interview was very nice, but I was not selected. So I didn't get any of those places where I applied to. And then ICTP has a program that is run jointly together with SISSA. So SISSA is also an institution here. Is a institution for advanced studies, basically for PhD. But now they have incorporated masters.
Okay.
Master's programs now. In fact, there was a student from South Africa AIM Center that was selected for the master's program. I was surprised last year, but he couldn't come because he got the PhD in the Netherlands. Yeah. So you can also check that sissa.it. That's just the website of my school, so you can read about this master's program. And if you want to apply for a PhD, yeah, it is possible. So there's a joint PhD program between ICTP and SISSA that is open for diploma students. So I applied for that, and I underwent the interview here, and then I was selected for the position. So this is my second year now. So now I've been talking about maths. So at ICTP, we have so many sections. In fact, just last year, a new session has been included, which is called quantitative sciences. So yeah, it has to do so much with machine learning and stuff like that. So people who really are much more programming inclined, like lost programming and stuff like that, you could apply into that. So many people from various backgrounds, like in that section. So we have high energy physics here. We have condensed matter physics, and then we have the earth system physics, which has to do with both atmospheric and earthquake studies. So those are the programs that are being run here. And not just the diploma program alone, ICTP also has this master's program in high performance computing. Yeah. And I've seen Africans come here, people from Ghana, people from Zimbabwe. They are here for the masters. There's also another master's degree. It's a master. This one is a master's, so it's usually 2 years program, which is because ICTP is not a degree awarding institution. So most of this program that gives you degree, they run it jointly with a neighboring institution that does, like with SISSA for PhD, like with University of Trieste for the master's degrees. So that is how it's been done. So for the masters in medical physics, like those people come here, and it's a very, very standard master, and it's hectic, I wouldn't lie, because I've interacted with those guys, and then they're always like, we write the exam almost every two weeks. And then after the first day, a whole year is for IT, I would say, in quotes, where they get posted to different hospitals to go and work in their physics lab and everything like that, if there's anything like that. Something to do with medical physics.
Internship to get industry experience, I guess.
Yeah, and that's something I like about it. That, okay, what you've learned theoretically, go and see how it's being done. So that is also the 2 master's program. And there is also the STEP program. So the STEP program, they are for PhD students in Africa or in developing countries, not just in Africa, because we also have people coming from South America, from other Asia countries too. So they also come here, and the STEP program goes this way: that you are already running your PhD program back at home, but you come here to visit for like maybe 6 months in the space of, you have, I think, you can come here for 6 months in each year. I'm not so sure of the schedule, but you have like 3 years, and then you are given like I think maybe 3 months or 4 months each year to come here and work.
Okay.
So maybe that will also involve you having a supervisor here.
And you get paid.
You get paid. Anything with ICTP is fully funded. It's fully funded. You get paid for your accommodation, for feeding, for everything, for your movement.
Testify to that.
Yeah, everything. Yeah, all of these programs I've been mentioning, they are all fully funded. They are all fully funded. Yes. So these are the programs that are being run here. And then you don't need to write any exam, any English test. If you are like me, that is running away from GRA, TOEFL. So you don't need those
no
things.
GRE.
You said?
I said no GRE, no TOEFL, no IELTS.
No, they don't need those proof. What they just need is that, although all of these programs are all run in English language, they just want to see that you were taught and you were examined in English language. So if you have, if you can prove, maybe from your department, you can just ask maybe your HOD or someone to write some letter telling them that you've been taught and you've been examined in English language. That is enough for ICTP. And even from
I know a lot of people will find this very interesting. A lot of people don't want to write the GRE and the English test. So thank you for that. The next thing I have on my mind that I want to ask is ICTP, SISSA, all these courses, all these programs, they are STEM courses, right?
Yes.
All STEM courses like physics, computing, mathematics, then some is there chemistry?
Not really. Maybe it's not really in pure form, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah. So maybe with some biological stuff going on. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because we also have neuroscience in SISSA. There is a neuroscience research group in SISSA. Neuroscience.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. So the next thing that I want to ask is basically the main process. What students find very difficult, most people that are not well informed and have someone to guide them through, is the application process.
Mm-hmm.
So I want you to help me detail the application process, just like we say to a layman, that, okay, what is the detailed application process from the beginning to the end? Are there going to be any application fee that will be paid along the way? Are there going to be personal statements or research statement that needs to be written, since we are not writing GRE or TOEFL or anything? And what are the period for this admission process that one needs to get ready, most especially student transcripts and every other recommendation letter that might be needed? You know how things goes in Nigeria, how it takes time to get our transcript and everything to work out. So we need to plan ahead of time. So what are the detailed process?
Okay, so I would start with ICTP. So for ICTP, usually the application it's open from December of every year.
Okay.
December of every year until February. That's how I think like 3 months for applications. And of course, you should have gotten ready your transcript. You should have your transcript. So you should be planning to have everything ready, even your international passport.
Okay.
You should have all of those things ready, because you'll be asked to provide a scanned copy of all of these things. Yeah, so you'll be asked to provide all of this. So for ICTP, they are not so I would say they consider you they ask for you to write your research experience. So they are in a way just interested in saying, okay, what have you done so far as your research what's it called experiences. So they want to understand what has been your research experience. They will even ask if you attended some seminars, some conferences, just to see how exposed you are to the scientific world. So that is one thing that I found, because I wasn't attending any seminar. In fact, I didn't even know the importance of seminar or conferences when I was in Nigeria. I just go to classes, get my grades, and then I go home. But these things, they really matter, because they kind of open your mind, to start thinking about things, even though they are not so much related to what you are studying in school. try and attend seminars. So some people are interested in, they want to see what you've had, what you've been able to think about. And then they also ask for you, ask that you also write, I wouldn't say statement of purpose, but like a motivation letter. Like, why do you want to undertake this program? So I believe that they also read about that. And then the way they do the selection, they after all the applications are in, for the mathematics section, they have an interview via Skype with candidates, but not with every candidate. So I'm sure they are going to select some people, and then they have a one-to-one interaction with them. For me, it was, we couldn't have a Skype call in my own case because of the internet connection in Africa. So I was surprised when I was asked to provide my phone number, and we just spoke on phone. Yeah, I was like, really? You trust me? So they called me like a normal phone call, and then I was being quizzed like on some areas of mathematics, and then I didn't answer all the questions fully, because at the end of the day, it was like, okay, we already made our decision, but we just want to have a one-to-one interaction with you. I was like, okay. And then right there, they told me, you have been selected. I'm like, just like that,
Okay,
I was surprised.
so that brings something to my mind. Like, okay, so if you get to the interview stage, if there's an interview, is it like more like, okay, 70 or 90% chances that you've been selected?
Not really.
Okay.
As I mentioned before, like when I was at Ames Ghana, I think I know of 3 people who were interviewed before I even got the interview email.
Okay.
And they were not picked. They were interviewed.
Okay.
And they were not selected. So I don't know what went down, because not everybody is going to be not everybody's going to be, free to talk with you about what happened during their interview. So I didn't know what went down, but they were not selected. And then that was after on, I received the email for my interview, and then I went. And then there was another guy who got interviewed after me. He too was selected.
So
but the people before us weren't.
The interview, that means it's like you still need to prepare well for the interview.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. So you don't take anything, you don't leave anything to chance. The fact that you were interviewed doesn't mean that you'll be selected. I was interviewed for Schlumberger scholarship, but in fact I answered all the questions. I wasn't even asking for too much money. They are like, okay, they can only give you maximum of 50,000 USD for the year. I was only asking for half of that, because I was planning to go to a German school. I was only asking for half of that, and then they didn't still give it to me. So yeah. So I would say that you prepare. For mathematics, they have a one-to-one interaction with you. But for some other sections, like for condensed matter, I learned that for condensed matter physics, they don't interview people. They only look at your credentials, and then your referees. It matters a lot for them here in ICTB especially, because so many people come here to ICTB for seminars, and then you get to meet all these top professors, and then they build connection. And that is why I'm going to encourage even I don't know if our lecturers will be watching this channel. I don't know, that he should help our students. Like, if you have come to ICTB before, or wherever you go, any international conferences, please build connections, so that your students, when they have the chance to also apply, they can use it as a link, to be able to move forward in their academic career and endeavor. So there is an interview. So, and then after the interview, the decisions are made, and then you get to be informed about what it is, and everything is set into motion. It's just free way all the way, free ticket all the way. And then for SISSA, our SISSA application is usually out I would say in February, March of every year, because the academic year starts every October. So every October. So February, March, because most of Italian schools, they do the applications in the spring. They usually come out in the spring. So that was what I'm going to say about that. And then they write exams. Like, they bring you from your country to Italy to come and write the exam.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
There's an examination. Yeah. You come to it. And then after the exam, then if you get to a particular cutoff mark, then there's an oral interview. So some people do not get the cutoff, and then they go back home. And then those who are able to meet up with the cutoff, they proceed to the oral interview phase. And then some people are still left behind, and then others are selected. So for SISSA, so SISSA process is a bit more strict. I think everything is strict. It just depends on how prepared you are. So yeah, and I think that is how the system for Italian schools are. A friend of mine also went for like a couple of interviews before he finally got the position in an Italian university. And then it was just the same thing. There was an exam, and then there was an oral interview. So that's how it is. And then for Italy, you don't need any, because they speak Italian, so you don't need any examination or anything.
What about aims?
Okay, for aims, no. In fact, you don't need anything for aims except for your certificate, your transcript, your passport, your reference letters. So that is just all you need for aims. Because if you are a non-speaking English, if you're an English non-speaker, I don't know if that is correct.
Like,
If you don't speak English.
Let's say you are coming from the French.
Yeah, speaking country. Yeah, so the aims as this program where you would arrive 2 weeks before other students arrive. So where you undertake an English communication class just to prepare your English. It's also good before you even step outside the shores of Africa, because for you to be able to communicate with people in English. So they kind of help you. It even goes on even during the semester at aims. So it goes on and on like that. So AIMS is a very beautiful environment. You meet a lot of nice people there. It's a very nice experience. Yeah.
So thank you very much for the detailed explanation and everything concerning the admission process and how we need to prepare ourselves for the process, for the interview to get in. And being interviewed is just an opportunity that your applications was considered, and you have been given a privilege to come and say something, come and defend yourself, and let's see if we'll go ahead with you. Okay, so lastly, what I want to ask is, are there any how will I put it now, clause attached to this scholarship, to this?
Okay. Like when you're done, you should go back home. Something like that.
You should go back home, blah blah blah, and the rest. And people were like, okay, people like Nigerians, like me now, I would think, okay, after my school, what next? Am I moving away? Am I going back? They will start thinking about that even before they get in, most of the time. And finally, we get in. So, are there any clause that is being attached?
Okay, so for ICTP, there are none.
Okay.
There are none. Although it's not written, because you have a contract. Of course, you have an admission letter. Like, okay, we are awarding you this scholarship for your PhD funding, blah, blah, blah. And then there is nothing like that you are signing to.
Okay.
So, but it is just encouraged normally. Like, okay, because ICTP's goal is to bring people from developing countries so that they can empower them, and then they can go back home and do the same and help other people. But there's nothing that is like forcing you. There is no like a clause that you sign to. If you sign something, then you are bound to it by law. So, but there is nothing like that for ICTP, for SISSA, even for AIMS. But I don't know, there are some funny things going on in AIMS right now. But I'm not sure it is true or not. I don't think I should bring that up yet. But there is nothing like you go back home and you must go back home. No. But for the Schlumberger that I mentioned, I think that was even one of the reasons I'm happy I didn't get it. There is a clause. there is a clause that, in fact, they encourage you to be in close contact with your home university. That they must give you a letter, because you have to renew the scholarship every year. Yeah, that's one of the challenges we have to show them that you're working, and then they want to see that you're in close contact with your own university. Yeah, and then you get letter from maybe the HOD to show that you are doing something together with them, and then they encourage you to go back home at least for some years before you proceed. So there is the clause there for Schlumberger. Schlumberger scholarship is for only women in STEM.
Women.
Only women, yeah, women in STEM. Yeah. and it's 50,000 USD per year. 50,000.
That's a lot.
Yeah, per year. So it's a lot of money. So you
Wow.
want to, if you don't go to UK, where you spend almost all of it on the school fees. So if you go to a European school, then maybe you would enjoy the money. So yeah. So for ICTP, there are none. For SISSA, none. And then even for Italian schools, there are none. And the scholarship comes freely without any teaching duties like in the US.
Oh.
So that is why you have to finish within a stipulated time. Like for SISSA, it's 4 years, so you must finish within 4 years.
Yeah.
Although under some important conditions, you can extend up to 6 months. Yeah, up to 6 months, but you are advised to finish within 4 years, and then if not, there's no funding for you. So but in a typical Italian university, it's 3 years. So that is why we have a limited time, because you are just being given money for free to study, and you're not expected to do any other thing aside study and research.
That's
yeah.
good. I wish I'm in Italy now.
Yeah, no, come on.
Okay. So I read something on ICTP website.
Okay.
I don't know if it's still tenable or if it's still going on right now. This is for lecturers. This is for our lecturers, I mean people that are already lecturing. Like ICTP does like a kind of associate for coming lecture. I don't know if that still work.
Yes, it's still working. Yeah, it's still on.
I don't know if you can explain more about that. How do you go about that?
Yeah, I don't have so much detailed knowledge about it, but it's still very, very much alive and active. So it's split into two.
Okay.
So we have the junior associate, and then we have the senior associate. I think when you apply for it, you can be a lecturer of math. In math department, it can be physics. So I don't know about for other areas of STEM and courses if it's applicable here, but I've met so many lecturers from Africa who come here for this program. They have some sort of a supervisor in codes, someone that they report to when they are here. But the major thing is that they are paid to come here to work on their research for a period of like 2 months in a year. So I think it's the fellowship is for like 3 years, I suppose. It's for like 3 years, and then you can come for, maybe you have a 6 months to visit here in a period of 3 years. So you can distribute it the way you want, and then you get paid. All of your expenses are taken care of. You're provided with accommodation. If you'll be staying for a shorter time, like for 2 weeks or something, you'll be given some of the guests a room in the guest houses, or you can get an apartment in the city if you're here for like maybe a 2-month period. So that's how it is. So it's good for lecturers, actually, for lecturers and PhD holders in Africa. And why am I saying Africa alone? In developing countries.
Developing countries. Okay, so thank you very much for the information, and thank you so much for spending time to enlighten us more about this. So back to our audience, I want you to take advantage of this opportunity, most especially those in STEM courses, to consider AIMS, to consider high CTP, and to consider SISSA and University of Trieste for pursuing your academic career and every other thing that you need to. So below this channel, we'll add the links to this school so that you can go through that particular link to get more information about these schools and other resources that you will be needing. So stay tuned to this channel. Please subscribe and share with as many as possible that you know that this information will be beneficial to. So thank you very much. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
So